the worst chef from each MasterChef season. Will any season of MasterChef ever be complete without the roller coaster of emotions and the disappointments on the faces of the chefs? Memories of the worst home cooks getting eliminated live rent-free in our heads. Just in case you missed any part of it, we have put together a compilation of all the worst chefs from every season. You do not want to miss any part of it. Season 7, Episode 6. Back in Season 7, Alejandra had just won the MasterChef challenge, and for the elimination test, the chefs were tasked with replicating Ramsay's signature lobster tortellini. Some of the chefs were able to follow Gordon's guidelines, but there was just one person who made a mess out of all she did. It was Lisa Ann. The home cook had been having a tough time since the beginning of the competition, but tonight turned out to be a new low. Lisa Ann focused on her broth first and later came back to the pasta. Seeing how badly she was faring, Ramsay walked her station and advised her to try and be more organized.
Right, Lisa Ann, you okay?
No, I'm not.
What's wrong?
I'm under a lot of pressure right now, and I've got to get this right.
But surprisingly, what did he get in return? Lisa Ann almost burnt his eyebrows by adding alcohol to whatever she was preparing. At this point, let's just hope that she knows what she's doing. Lisa Ann's confidence didn't quite match her skills because her broth turned out to be salty. It was so bad that she choked on it when she was asked to taste it. Lisa Ann was called out among those with the worst dishes and was later kicked out of the show. While Lisa Ann felt she was on top of her game, she never really got on the nerves of most people. Unlike our next contestant, who somehow managed to annoy both the contestants and the judges. Season 8, Episode 4. In Season 8, Paige was always accused of being arrogant and not caring. She received some of the harshest criticisms from the blonde judge, and she was only 18 too. The smile on Paige's face was constant and her confidence was at its peak. In Episode 4, the home cooks had the task of preparing fish lunch for 101 lifeguards and were divided into 2 teams. Our star girl was in the blue team. When cooking started, Paige made the mistake of adding too much seasoning of cayenne pepper to several batches of fish.
Hey, Jennifer,
Yes, what's going on?
have you tasted these with this seasoning? That is spicy as hell.
Oh, damn.
Who seasoned these?
I did.
That's got a lot of cayenne in it.
As expected, the lifeguards criticized the blue team for this.
I thought the blue team added too much spice in the fish.
It was almost like I couldn't even taste what it tasted like.
Reba called out Paige for her actions. Daniel helped rectify Paige's errors by removing the skin of the fish, but it was too late to salvage the situation. The red team got most of the votes from the lifeguards, and some other members of the blue team had to face the pressure test. The task was for all of them to recreate Aaron's grilled pork chop dish and had 45 minutes to do so. Before the chef started cooking, Paige revealed that she was familiar with the dish and expressed her confidence. When Paige later came forward with her dish, Christina was irritated by it. She told Paige that it was undercooked. Even with these words, Paige still kept a smile on her face. Christina became more pissed and accused her of not taking the competition seriously. Paige tried to explain that she cared, but Christina had a hard time believing her. Paige and Jennifer were tagged as the chefs with the worst dish. When Chef Ramsay asked the contestants up on the balcony who should stay in the competition, they didn't hesitate. They all voted for Jennifer. The judges also agreed with her choice, and Paige was sent home. Our next chef wasn't overconfident but had a hard time replicating dishes, and this is what got her into this video. Season 9, Episode 5. Olusola was among the chefs who were up for the elimination challenge in Season 9, Episode 5. Their task was to make a crab benedict. The cooks were all given 30 minutes, and 2 persons with the worst dish would have to leave the competition. Olusola doesn't seem to be getting it right in the kitchen. She's already poached 5 eggs, and not one of them looks great. Before long, timer goes off, and the judges call each cook forward. Olusola steps up to present her dish. Placing her creation in front of the judges, Gordon leans in and whispers, "Damn." Without missing a beat, she whispers back, "I know." The cooks were given sleek black plates to present 2 elegant eggs benedict, but Olusola, she's got 1 lonely benedict on a napkin. With bits of sauce splattered around, it honestly looks like someone's half-eaten brunch was just cleared off the table. Surprisingly, Olusola's egg was well poached, her muffin isn't burnt, and her crab is seasoned like a pro. However, her incomplete plate was a deal breaker, and she was sent packing. Olusola's elimination is nothing compared to that of our next contestant who felt he knew it all. Evan had so much potential, but his attitude limited him. He had the obnoxious idea that he could not make any mistake. the judges couldn't correct or guide Evan. The home cook's attitude worsened in episode 6 when all the contestants were asked to make a Latin American-inspired skirt steak dish. Instead of using a cast iron pan, Evan opted for a normal pan. When the judges approached him, he told them he had always used a normal pan. Although Evan's dish still came out good, the judges blasted him for not listening to their advice. They told him that their suggestion would have made his dish one of the best of the night. In the next episode, the contestants were asked to make a tarte tatin, following the guidelines provided by Gordon. At the end of the day, Evan did a good job with what he presented, but the only problem is that it wasn't what the judges asked for. Evan had prepared and served a yummy apple tart. It tasted nice, but the judges had no other choice but to send him packing. At this point, most people would have been remorseful, but that can never be Evan. The last thing he said was,
"In the end, it doesn't matter. I still feel like my experience and my knowledge base means that I was the best chef in this competition."
The guy still doesn't get it. Evan acted like he didn't have much to lose, but our next contestant had no other job to return to. Her sole aim was to show the world that Mexican food is delicious. Sadly, she didn't quite achieve it. Season 11, Episode 5. Anai Gonzalez came into MasterChef Season of Legends after quitting her job as a legal assistant. She dazzled the judges with her culinary skills in the auditions. But in Episode 4, she found herself among the bottom 3 after using store-bought tortillas for her dish. Anai wasn't able to recover quickly from this experience because in Episode 5, her performance worsened. All the contestants had to bake a dessert to impress the guest judge Sherry Yard and the other judges. Anai used her knowledge of Mexican cuisine to prepare an avocado no-bake cheesecake with dragon fruit cream and mango sauce. Anai was confident that she was going to impress the judges with her choice. However, it didn't exactly work out for her. She came out with raw cheesecake in a cheesecake mold. The macadamia nut base decided it wasn't ready for the spotlight and refused to set on time. So with no other option, she served it like that. Unfortunately, what was supposed to be a cheesecake ended up looking more like a dip in disguise. Gordon Ramsay, known for his soft and gentle demeanor, just kidding, was not amused. The other judges, including Sherry Yard, supported Gordon's points. Before sending Anai away, Gordon had a few words for her.
Anai, you came in like this firecracker that really lit us up. I'm hoping that you'll pick up everything you've taken from this incredible kitchen and go forth.
As for the other judges, Aaron Sanchez said he appreciated the reasoning behind her Mexican-style dessert, while Joe Bastianich expressed his disappointment that she didn't properly cook or bake anything. Season 12, Episode 9. Season 12, Back to Win of MasterChef is the perfect comeback story. The all-star competitors from the last 11 seasons returned to the kitchen to face fresh challenges. In Episode 9, the chefs had the option of selecting one dessert and then trying to prepare it. Christian was the winner from the last task, so he had the advantage of stating the order in which the MasterChef contestants would pick the desserts. Tommy Walton was up third, and with a variety of desserts to pick from, he confidently chose the lemon meringue tart. Why? Because it's his husband's favorite dessert, so he figured he knew exactly how it should look and taste. It seemed like a great plan, but wait a minute. Tommy's choice was supposed to be one of the easiest compared to what the other chefs had to replicate. But in the kitchen, even the simplest sweets can turn into a complex situation. Unfortunately, Tommy's mistakes turned his easy choice into a recipe for disaster. Tommy began by making his tart shell and allowing it to chill. But instead of putting it inside the refrigerator, Tommy went for the blast chiller. While he was still oblivious of his mistake, Gordon urged him to replicate the tart to perfection. After a while, Ramsay noticed that Tommy's tart was not yet in the oven and the time was far spent. He then told Tommy to hurry up. When Ramsay finally got to Tommy's station, he saw the home cook struggling with a tart shell that looked like it had been through a blender. Tommy confessed that he had put it in the blast chiller. Gordon advised him to knead the dough again and then put it in the mold. But Tommy, being Tommy, wouldn't listen. Tommy, determined to win the battle against his tart shell, continued to force the dough into the mold like he was trying to stuff a sleeping bag back into its tiny case. Unsurprisingly, the dough cracked and crumbled under the pressure. With barely any time left, Tommy somehow managed to shove the broken tart shell into the oven, praying for a miracle. But his problems were just getting started. While trying to speed things up, Tommy didn't have the time to focus on his lemon meringue either, which turned out to be runny and the pastry shell wasn't cooked properly. When the judges saw his creation, Ramsay and Joe didn't hold back. They pointed out that the pastry was raw and the meringue wasn't placed correctly in the tart. There was no way Tommy would escape elimination. He was officially the worst chef, and the judges had to let him go.